Hello, hello. Let's start doing a stream on Facebook. How are you, Ada?
Very good, Andrea. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Kind of like I am in the mood of I want to talk about LinkedIn, marketing strategies, and all that.
Yes. Fair enough. Hello, Mark. Hello, Katie. How are you doing? Happy Wednesday.
Hi, how are you?
Very good,
Hi,
very
Ada.
good. Nice to see you again. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
Hi, guys. Perfect. We are live on Facebook.
Good. So very nice. Welcome here. Very nice to see you. Looks like a lot of people is on holidays because there is a bank holiday, a very long bank holiday in the UK, and then Monday here in Ireland. But this mix is actually quite dangerous, I can see. Just 5 full days of holidays. Let me just get this. So let me just, okay.
So we have some people connected from the Facebook. So if they have any questions, I would just let you know. Okay, Ada?
Yes, perfect. Thank you very much, very much. So welcome. So today we're going to do the round table on the lead generation. So relax, make sure you have your drinks. We have water today.
I know, coffee.
Yes. So if anybody has a question, please feel free to raise your hand or put the questions on the chat. We're going to have some time to chat about the topic at the very end. So the flow that we normally have is that we do the first 20 minutes of topic. However, if you have any questions in the middle, we can just keep chatting on the way. And then at the end, we just open the roundtable and start chatting about the topic. So thank you for keeping your cameras on. And today, the topic that we're going to discuss on the lead generation is going to be LinkedIn prospecting and how actually we are working and how actually we're generating leads on LinkedIn. What is the process? So have you or Mark, Katie, are you doing any LinkedIn prospecting? Are you using LinkedIn to generate leads for your business?
Yeah, kind of indirectly at the moment. I'm working with a number of clients at the moment, but I'm just separately in a parallel stream. I'm kind of just posting on LinkedIn with a sort of a message to contact me. So it's not specific LinkedIn advertising, so or anything like that. It's just it's kind of soft marketing.
Okay, that's pretty good. Katie?
Yeah, I would align kind of exactly with what Mark was sharing. Like I'm still like sharing a lot of articles. I'm getting a lot of traction and things like that. I am sharing my website. I've shared kind of the link to like book with me, and I have had people book with me that way. But I haven't done a ton of like prospecting because I've actually been pretty lucky with folks finding me and already booking with me without me putting a ton of effort. Except for the stuff I already care about, which is like sharing these articles and things that are like really relevant and helpful to the community.
Yes, that's actually pretty good. So so what we're going to go through is just maybe some topics that maybe you will be just taking notes about things that can maybe improve on your LinkedIn profile, and ideas on like keep posting, just having a rhythm, having a consistency on the posting, and then how to prospect. Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
Ada, I actually have here on Facebook saying that it's actually Monica, and Monica says, I find very difficult to prospect in LinkedIn. I find it's very serious.
Yeah, well, LinkedIn by excellence is a professional network. So yes, it's not the same prospecting on LinkedIn than going prospecting on Instagram, and it has become like really popular. Well, like I mean, if you're on LinkedIn, I'm sure that you all the time you're getting messages and people that want to connect with you. So yeah, it's this is what we're going to go through. And prospecting is all about like the structure. So it's not only just sending the messages and just connecting with people, but just the process. What do we do before? What do we do after? What do we do during? So this is what we're going to start just talking here. So first of all, the LinkedIn profiles. What are the LinkedIn profiles? How do we do it? How do we put, what do we have to add or not? How do you post? Like, how do we post and how often? Which is pretty important, and how to prospect. So, and we left the prospect at the end just because everything needs to have a coherence. So then there are always two LinkedIn profiles, and there's one profile, like if we have our profile for recruiters, so if we're actually looking for work. And the next profile is if we're looking for clients. So there is a business owner profile, and then there is a recruiter profile. And the main difference is basically everything that you put on your profile. How is it your headline? If you're selling yourself for recruiters, or if you are just selling yourself for clients because you're looking for business, you're looking to help somebody. So usually the main difference is also, it becomes on the experience part. So how do you actually just set up the experiences on the experience? Like, do you actually make the numbers like percentages? It's pretty common for sales professionals to have a lot of percentages on the sales, like this is the amount of KPIs that I have closed and all of that. But when we come on business owners, the experience that we want to show is like what are the kind of industries that we have been working on, and the type of like corporate works, like in general, that we have been doing. So that's the main difference on the type of profiles that we have on LinkedIn. And I think this is pretty important when we're like the first thing just start looking at. After this is something that I just want to put it here because I want to keep it recorded, and this is just a photo. Using an optimize, like on optimizing the profile, when we start optimizing the profile. So the first thing is just to have a professional photo. And one thing that I always recommend is just to have a consistent photo. So if we're doing it doesn't apply for everybody, but if you're doing business and you're using several platforms, it's good to have the same profile photo. So then people, when see the photo, they actually relate to you. And there's some like don't on the profile photo, and and I found them just like really fun. But when we're just talking on LinkedIn, there are a couple of photos that we have to try to avoid as much as possible, like the photo of the party animal, or a photo of the throwback like experience that we had at some point, the one with the happy, like some people just tend to put their photos with their kids, or the adventure, like in a very adventure or hobby that we have, or the sportman. I think the sportman is just like if our careers are around sports, but basically business is business. So even if your career is around sports, you need to have a profile photo. The dark side. Sounds like a lot of musicians, or the top model, like a very supermodel kind of photo. So these are the kind of photos that I think they're pretty, good just to get to know, just to avoid them. The secret agent, the skill. This is a kind of festival photo. Oh, I got this photo. This is so nice, but it's not for LinkedIn. Or the Christmas hat. Also, try to avoid any photo with pets or dogs as well. Optimize your profile. So the first thing that we have that I always just show is just the headline. And here is just the first part where people actually realize, like, what are you doing? If you're actually looking for work, or if you're looking for clients. So, and the headlines is basically as much as it can be the headlines of a newspaper. So you actually stop. This is the first thing that you read. And then if that actually resonates with you, you want to read more. So we want to talk directly to our ideal client. So it is very, very important that we have, we define who our ideal client is. And we normally just talk about, mention the person, what is the pain point, and just saying how you're going to solve it. We also use the cover. So this part of the LinkedIn to promote, for example, if you're doing a special event. Last month we were doing our 5-day challenge. So we, this is one of the things that you can put here, or if you're promoting your business, or if you have a slogan for your business or a sentence or something that connects with the prospect that are going to be visiting your profile. So the headline is something that is very, very important. And this is the first thing, as I said, once if they read this and it resonates with your client, they want to keep reading. So, oh God, sorry. So they would like to just keep reading, and then let's go to the, okay. Then we go to keep optimizing the profiles, and I'm going to move down to the profile side as well. But one of the things about optimizing the profile is actually just getting, sorry, let me just get the LinkedIn profile. So one of the things on optimizing the profile as well is just the about me. So one of the things is that the about me on the profile is actually, it's not compulsory. Like you don't have to do it on LinkedIn. Can you see my LinkedIn here? Huh?
No,
No?
no.
Oh, okay.
We
sorry.
can see only the Canva.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so one thing is that when you're actually doing your profile on LinkedIn, one thing that is not compulsory is the about me. But this part is actually like pretty important, because this can serve as, if you're looking for a job, this can serve as your cover letter. And if you're looking for clients, it actually serves as your cover letter for clients. It's just like a sales pitch that you can do, but here you can actually just extend a little bit more of what you're saying on top. And then I also just add some links, like if people want to talk to you directly, at your like Calendly or your website, if you want people just to go and talk directly with you. So I found this the about me. It's a tool that LinkedIn just actually give us that is pretty important. It's pretty useful if we start, if we use it. So then the following, let's go to the next one. Okay. So then on the next part, it will be what to post and how often. We normally work with calendars, so then maybe Andrea and I, we tend to do a couple of things. We test to see how engagement do we get with different kind of posts. We engage, we try to engage with people as well that is engaging with our post. But the most important part is that we have a calendar and we're posting regularly. So on posting, it will be the frequency that you do. If you decide that you want to post just once a week, just make sure that you post every week, so every day. If you want to post twice a week, just make sure that you keep the rhythm, so you keep the consistency on posting.
Yeah, something that I want to add, like this part is for me was like all my audience was on Instagram. So I actually changed to start prospecting on LinkedIn. And for me, it was very awkward and I couldn't understand. I was like, Monica, the girl was like, this is just so serious. And, like the voice is different. But when I actually discovered that by the end of the day, people buy people in the way that I was posting, like change, and my results change. Because I remember going to Ada and I said, look, my link, like have a look at my LinkedIn. And then she came over saying, okay, Andrea, your posts are great, but they are like, it's like a book. You are just way too scientific, and you need to add your personality, because by the end of the day, people, they want to see what do you think like you about certain topic and why will you recommend? And so when I like personally, when I start doing this mix, and then I start doing, okay, let's do one post, and then let's do two, and then I just kind of like between Ada and myself, we start finding the rhythm between I want to interact with the client, I want for the client to learn something from me, I want to learn from the client, and I want to be funny at the same time. So I want them, I want them for them to know my personality. So we do a different things like polls, for example. I love polls. Do you do
Yeah.
polls, guys, by the way?
I've done one. Yeah, I haven't done many.
And how do they work well for you?
Yeah, there's a lot of I don't know, about 40 or 50 votes or something, and
Good.
then the views was, I don't know, 3,000 views or something.
Amazing.
So,
Yeah, that is fantastic.
Yeah, they work pretty well. And then the good thing is that you know for sure that there are people and you can actually see who is interacting with you and you can follow up with conversations. So follow up is also when you get that that important part on the engagement. There is also like storytelling about you from time to time. It's not like all the time, but you can see as well how good do they usually work. Because you're showing a little bit of vulnerability, you're showing yourself, or you're showing, you know, what happened. So this one was like, I literally remember I was just working on a Sunday, and it was Mother's Day back in Venezuela, and but I completely forgot. And then in the afternoon, and then I posted this story, and then there was a lot of people as well commenting and engaging as well. Just on top of like moving countries just makes there like so many Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So doing a little bit of self-promotion, for example, what we have is our lead generation roundtable, and the self-promotion that we do is about the lead generation roundtable. So we always are talking about the topics that we're going to be discussing on the roundtable, but this is the type of self-promotion that we do. And then we usually, like if we want to add a link on this, we add it just in the comments. So that helps a lot the algorithm when making this type of post. And then as well, depending on the type of topic or the week that we had, so then we do another post after the lead generation roundtable if we have some kind of a challenge for the group that has been on the roundtable. So I have done that a couple of times when we actually challenge people to go and put a video online, talking about themselves. MEMS, this is like a trial as well. Like it works kind of good in some accounts, depending on as well the topic that you're doing and how do you do the storytelling of the image. Always, this is just super important in terms of captions. Always tell a story with a point, and always give a point with a story. So if you're doing this kind of post, they work pretty well if they're coming together with a story, you know, like with a story, with a point, with something that you want to.
Ada, Jonathan is mentioning that he's using the tool of create a newsletter, and that has bringing loads of traffic into his art like profile. So I don't know if maybe it will be worth it for the guys that they will look at the recording if we can actually show them the tool about write an article, and then that article becomes a newsletter, and then all your audience gets that email as an email marketing, like, hey, Ada, you know, the newsletter of the week.
Yes, that is actually like very, very, very important, because, and this is, we talk a lot about this, and this is how to recycle the content, and basically content that you can use on your email sequences, like the emails that you usually send to your database. You can actually post them as well on LinkedIn. and use them as a newsletter. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think we started doing it as well recently.
Yeah.
So another thing is just sharing, like sharing is caring. Sharing posts, like Katie, you were saying that sometimes you're sharing like other things. So from different kind of accounts. So my LinkedIn
It's
account.
funny because I did actually share that same article that you did about the living and working. Yeah, like I shared that one and that got a lot of traction too, because that's something I'm passionate about, which is travel. And I got to see who all my other like travel people were with that, because it's like fun because LinkedIn is professional, but you can see the other people that have like similar hobbies and stuff. So I've gotten a lot of traction too, like sharing how I'm a sailor and all of that stuff too, which has been really fun. So people see other dynamics of who I am as a person.
Oh yes, yes. Well, I got a lot of comments, and actually, even a lot of people like mentioning as well about places, and then kind of communities. Have been like, I do a lot of networking as well, and I have been just meeting, and they were like, we have been exchanging groups on like to work in Tenerife, to work in Malaga, to work in Portugal. Like there's so many places, and then this is the thing, and then. One thing as well, start interacting with people that we're engaging with the link. And one thing as well is that it's not that like every single post that you're going to do, it's going to have the same engagement. There's some posts sometimes that we think like, oh, this post is going to do amazing, and then it's just like not really the most popular. But the thing is just the consistency. When you get this kind of post and everybody's just like, yes, I feel the same. This is the time. This is okay. This is my lucky day. But the good thing about the consistency and sharing is that you actually find out what are the content that your audience is consuming. And then you also find out that you can find out that, oh my God, I think the audience is not the right in this social media. So then I have to improve the prospecting that I'm getting. Or maybe because you realize that the audience is actually consuming more content about a topic that is not the one that you want them to I don't know if that makes sense, but just the flow of keep people of keep posting is what will give us as well this data about what works best in front of the audience. So then
Ada, how often should you post? What's the sort of recommended amount?
Yes, I would say that like the good thing, it will be at least twice a week, at least. So what we normally have our kind of we call it the 20% hour. That is we do the 20% of work that is going to give us the 80% of the results. And we have an hour a day where we do work on prospecting. So, and these are things like engaging. So it's not only posting, but it's also engaging with people that are actually replying or commenting to the post, and then doing this prospecting part. But I would say like if you post at least 2 or 3 times a week, that it will be ideal. Okay. Now, if you have an hour a week and you can just mix up like different strategies, so then that it will like increase the possibilities of engaging with prospect clients and to get people to know you. Working on LinkedIn as well is a matter of time. If you do it consistently and if you're doing organically, let's say that you're not paying for any ads, or you're not like, you know, have a VA probably just like getting in touch with so many people every day.
And so, when you see the like the amount of people that have viewed it, is a view like just that it turns up on their feed and they scroll down? That's a view, is it?
Yes, that's a view. That's how many times did you appear on somebody's feed, okay. And that also increases when people actually stop to see it, even though because what happened here and what happened on Instagram is that a lot of people will probably just stop and see it, but don't even like it. Just see, read, and then just keep moving. But if you stop, so then the algorithms start working and then start showing it to more and more people.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, So then on prospecting, so for example, we have, so the way that we normally go is that, for example, we want to prospect coaches. That is our target market in Dublin, Ireland. So basically we use the filters that are on LinkedIn. Okay, so we prospect here and we want to start engaging and connecting with prospects, with new people. So the main thing here is just getting to know exactly who do you want to talk to, who do you want to engage with, and then use the filters to optimize the search. So you can, the recommendation here will be just looking for people here, not for jobs. And
That's not Sales Navigator, is it?
no, this is just without the Sales Navigator.
Yeah, okay.
This is just 100% organic. So one thing here when you're prospecting, you like with people on LinkedIn, is just basically when you go to connections, just make sure you have a second-degree connection. So the first are the ones that are already connected with you, and the third, they're ones that's their friends of a friend of a friend. So you normally want to start connecting with friends of your friends. So first, it doesn't look like on spam or anything because you're connected with somebody that you have in common. That it will be the first thing, and then like you can add different filters depending on what you want to do, but maybe location, like if you want to add specific location, let's say that you want to do England, and if you want to look for a specific kind of business, for example, self-employed, usually the type of clients that we are like usually prospecting are self-employed and they're looking to grow their business, or if they work in a specific company. If they have been working in a specific company, maybe you want to see that they have been going to a certain school or they're in a specific industry. So we want to prospect on professionals that are working with coaching, that are working on marketing or management and consultant, and maybe IT. So we want people, for example, that speak Spanish and English, because we have both languages. We have the program in both languages, and our team is all bilingual. So we do coaching and mentoring, consulting, leadership, and then we start looking for it. So basically, the search is going to start showing you like certain results. So what we do usually here and before connecting is just always just getting to check out the profile of the person. So then we want to make sure that there are two things here. Once we check the profile of the person, we can see if this is actually the type of prospect that we want to go for. And this is the first thing. And the second thing is that once you get into their profile, they're going to see that you actually check their profile. Okay, so you're going to appear on their notifications as somebody that was looking out on their profile, and then you will also do that. Once you start connecting, always add a note. So with their name, hi Petra. You can write something like, I see that we have some friends in common. I would love to add you to my network professionals. That's, I think, the message. And then you send it and just send the connections. I'll send it just later.
When you're looking at someone though, can you can privatize your profile, can't you, when you're looking at it, like so that they don't see that you're looking at them?
I think you can do that. Can you?
Yes, you can do it, but then you will not be able to know who watch your profile, who look at your profile. So it's both ways. Like if you don't want for them to see, you are not going to be able to know who is looking at your profile either. But yeah, you can do it.
Oh, I thought you could look at people, but because I see people that are looking at my profile, but then I see someone in this industry was looking at your profile as well. So I don't know who they are.
Yeah,
pretty much
no, yes, I think what it happens as well is that There's certain people that you won't be able, because LinkedIn will limit the number of things that you can see. So then you start paying. Okay, you
Okay.
go for the paid version of LinkedIn, so
Yeah.
then you can see the rest of the information.
Yeah, your premium or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, and basically once we started doing this prospecting, so there are a couple of things as well, just to start checking once, like if they connect, to follow up with the information, follow up with conversation. So going and talking to the people you're actually connecting, and showing up as an authentic connection, engaging, start a conversation. So how are you doing, to see what do we have, what synergies do we have, and then from there just move the prospect to a call, to a discovery call, to chemistry call, to a call where you can actually start a conversation, to then move them after to convert into a sales. Have you done this kind of prospecting on LinkedIn before?
I'm starting to now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the Sales Navigator platform.
Yeah.
I think like, what's the difference between that and what you're showing us there?
Yeah, so the Sales Navigator, basically this is a Sales Navigator. It will show you just like way more, like you can have a deeper kind of search. So you can search, you have more filters basically.
Okay.
Okay, so you have way more filters. You can actually exclude. So for example, if you want to look for, let's say, Starbucks,
Yeah.
and you can exclude Starbucks. So you can look for HR people, but everybody that has never been working in Starbucks, for example, or let's say that you want somebody that has been working in Starbucks, because I don't know. So then you have many more filters here, and then you can also connect. You have certain abilities to connect with people that also has a Sales Navigator that don't want to be found, for example, CEOs, or like high qualified people, directors or something like that. Usually it's easier for you to find it with the Sales Navigator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Get more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the thing. So you can now you can use CRM. There are also integrations that you can do with the Sales Navigator that they work pretty well. But there are also many things that you can do without. So I will always recommend just start without and see how it goes, because one of the things here as well is that once you start prospecting, so we actually recommend that you prospect at least 10 a day. So if you do 10 a day, it would be like 50 a week, but if you can do 20, that would be better. But once you send the messages, just follow up with the conversation. That will be the most important part. And then exactly the same with pools. So like if you're doing, for example, the, let me see where the post. So if you're running a pool or somebody that was commenting on your post, so you can start, where is the pool? Like here. So you can actually see the votes and then just get in touch with people that was answering to your poll. So then this is a kind of engagement and interaction that you have. So you can just actually interact with people depending on their answers and follow up with conversations from there. And yeah, so then I think this is going to be on the prospecting side. And then from here, the tips that it will be from this. Oh gosh, this, I didn't finish this. Okay. The tips will be just basically just talk to your ideal client. Like always just make sure that the message is directed to your ideal client when you're prospecting. And then when I'm talking about the message, it's a message that you have on the headline that has a consistency with the about me, the letter that you do there, if there is some kind of a sales letter that you have. So the message has a consistency. Also the posts, they talk about the same topics. And then when you start doing the conversation and engaging with the message, so that message also has coherence with whatever is saying on your profile. So I think the best tip on this with prospecting and doing everything is just starting and like doing an audit of the profile, like from everything from the photo, headline, about me, and what are your interests, how is your experience posted, and then as well the messages that you're having to introduce yourself to new prospects. So then we also have, on top of this, we also have like a strategy call ourselves. We do have a full program with like way more information on how to do all of prospecting, not just on LinkedIn, but in every single social media, plus strategies. And so if you want to achieve anything in the next 12 months, so feel free to book a call with us, with Andrea or myself, so then we can tell you how we do it and how you can do it. Now we go to the Q&A. So let's start chatting. What do you think? What are your thoughts? What are your questions about LinkedIn and your experience with this?
I have a question here in the chat that I think it's very interesting, especially when we are on your prospecting, that it is, I started prospecting and then people said that my message is very similar to the ones from everyone. So I think that it's very important to be unique since the beginning, in the sense that let's be very, very honest. When we receive an invitation, it's because the person wants something. It's like, I want to connect because I want something from you, I want to sell you something, or I need something from you. So before jumping into selling, I think it's good to actually approach the person in a friendly way. Just figure it out how can be the first message, because Jonathan is saying it's so funny, saying that I start prospecting, but then people, they start asking me, why do I use the same message as everyone? Which I suppose maybe is the one, we have some friends in common, let's
Yes.
connect.
Yes.
So how can we be unique, and I think that it's so important to be unique since the beginning, for the person to actually at least to read your message, or to at least say like, hey, hello, I don't know, guys, when you prospect or when you send a message, how do you do it? Do you share something about you? What is so far your strategy?
I haven't really sold myself on LinkedIn yet. Like it's like I've sent messages, but they're not like, I think if you're gonna link in with someone and you know you're gonna sell them, you're probably better just starting out with the selling message, because you're gonna get there anyway. So it's I get loads of LinkedIn connections every day from people, and I know like, I don't know them. I don't know who they are, so I know they're selling something, and that's fine. But I prefer the ones that say, I've got this service, this is what it does, love to have a chat, and if there's something in it that's interesting, I'll connect with them. If there's something that's just not related at all to my business, I won't. I'll just say, look, like, I'll connect with you, but I'm okay. Like, a guy today connected with me who does like fitness for men, like older men, how to get fitter and stuff. And I just don't need that. I don't need it, but I'll connect with him, because it's good to have a lot of connections, because you just never know,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I think you're better just saying it, if you're, because if you connect with someone and then they connect back, and then you're going back and forth, they'll know you're selling them something if they don't know you. That would be my view. It's just my opinion.
Which is, it's very good, and I'm actually very glad that you mentioned your personal opinion, because I think this is the magic of having this space, but as well of testing. I think that sometimes in the way that we like things is not in the way that our client wants to receive the information. Personally, I will be all the opposite. if someone has pitched me in the beginning, I'm like, wow, ask me how I am, you know. So I think it's great, and I think this is the magic of be like Ada and myself. Every 2 weeks we analyze the
The
you know
data.
the data. It's like, so every, like, we change it every 2 weeks and say, okay, this week let's actually go straight to the point. Hey, I think you and I, we can have something in common, let's meet. And then we actually analyze how many yes we actually got, and if it doesn't, it's like, you know what, it's not working, so actually let's go back to the let's be friends and happy days. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are you finding with that, Andrea? What do you find with that? Do you find the approach works that you say hello first?
Yeah, so I have
Okay.
to say, I have to say that maybe because I am a female, or maybe this is my personality, and maybe all the targeting that we are doing is coaches, that perhaps is more like who you are before selling me. In our audience, it works better when we say like, hey, what is going on? Do you have, what have
Kind
you,
of projects are you working
exactly, do
on?
you have any, exactly what, yeah, like for example, the one that I have in my mind is that, well, last month it was April, so it was like the first quarter. So the message was like, hey, we just passed the first quarter of the month, how
The
your
year.
goals are going. And then it's like, oh, and then make people think. And so we actually tested, which we tested the other one, which I remember it was pretty much the message, hey, I am in business and I'm pretty sure I can help you to scale your business. Let's go straight to the point. It worked not as great as the other one in
Okay.
my experience. But this is
Yeah.
like the magic of testing, you can actually go and test 2 weeks, give it a go. I don't know, for yourself, Katie, what type of person you are, the one that wants it straight to the point, or soft?
Yeah, I'm with you, Andrea, in that I want someone to get to know me first, because I want them to understand if I'm the right client for them. Because for me, the work I do is also based on authenticity and actual connection. So I'm not trying to sell to everyone, because I am like so targeted, and I want to find the right clients, and I want to find the right businesses that I do the consulting with. And so in that way, if someone says like they want to work with me, but they don't seem like a good fit, I'm not trying to pitch them, because I'm not at the point where I'm like trying to take everyone that wants to work with me. Like, I'm really particular with that. And for me, it is really about that authentic connection. Now, I recognize my business is different, because some people are trying to en masse get tons of people.
Mhm.
But with what I'm looking for, I'm really trying to be really niche with that, and like really intentional with who I am, and people get to know me in that way.
Yeah. No, I think it's totally on like, this depends a lot on the target market, like who is the clients that you're looking at. If you're also like trying to sell just a consultancy, just a program, is something that people can just buy online, or something that people want. If it's a high ticket that you're trying to sell, and this is also very interesting, where are they from? Location wise. Oh my gosh, like,
Yeah.
our messages, like,
Latino people, we want hugs and kisses before jumping to any business
oh gosh.
conversation. Yeah,
Those are
it's
like
true.
I
quite
remember
long.
that. So
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting, and we will do it for you, Mark, to understand who reacted to the straight to the point, because maybe as a female, we like more like the approach, and maybe the male, they are more like, don't waste my time, just tell me what do you want. So if your market is more towards male, maybe it's no point for you to say like, let's have a virtual
well,
coffee.
yeah, it's not really gender based. That's not really, it doesn't matter, but
Mm,
it's much more corporate. So it's going into a HR director, or it's going
Yes,
into a CEO. So that's what
they
I
won't
mean.
have a lot of time.
No, they don't. Like, they need to, they want to read it once, they don't want to read it twice. So you just don't waste their time, really. So it's a different business, in fairness.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
in fairness, it really varies between the business.
Yeah,
If you're selling corporate
Yeah.
coaching,
Totally. I think it is only one way to know, by tasting.
yeah, there is, yeah.
yeah.
Totally. Yeah, good. Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys. Do you have another question? Let me actually check. I totally start.
Could I just ask you one
Yeah.
more question? Do you know much about LinkedIn advertising?
Yes, well, LinkedIn ads, they work pretty well depending on what you want to do. They're quite expensive depending as well on the budget. But I would say it depends. What is exactly your question? Would you like to add to advertise your
Yeah,
services?
well, it's advertising my coaching proposition. So I've just looked at it a few times. I've never done anything about it, to be honest, but I've looked at it a few times.
Yeah.
And it is expensive. Like,
Yes.
but it depends on the return. So like if you can spend anything from $500 a month up to $5,000, $10,000, but for an individual like me, that, like, I mean, I wouldn't be, you know, it depends if I will convert, like if I have 5 people that look at, you know,
Yeah.
talking to me for an exploratory call, the coaching, it's very niche. So like if you're coming asking a question, you actually want it. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing, you know. So they're quite easy to convert. I mean, once you get in front of them, you will convert. So if you're spending $1,000 a month and you got 2 people to coach, it well and truly pays for itself. Like, you know,
We do have actually like a company director, like a CEO client that is in South America, and the strategy is to connect with other CEOs and directors and management, and it's through LinkedIn, but it's not using ads. So it's not using ads. It's using like different strategies that are like connection campaigns, something quite similar. That's the things that I show you, but like a little bit more advanced. And it usually can take something between 1 to 2 to 3 hours a day to do that. But they actually work better because sometimes what you need is just to start as well and checking who are holding the keys for the directors and the CEOs. Sometimes you need to go through, you know, like HR manager or operations manager or any kind of management to get that connection in common. To have some kind of, and this is what's the time just to start consuming. But if you think anything about ads anyway, I would say that you need to have like everything prepared already as well, like the website or a landing page with, you know, the proposal there, something free that you can offer, you know, like the whole funnel ready. So in case, like when you put money on ads, so you already have everything ready. And just to get to know as well that ads are something that they need to learn first. So you need to test the ads and see which ad actually works best. So the first budget will be for testing, just to get the algorithm to know. And then once you get that number, probably you don't have to pay as much, but because you already have a niche, like exactly people that you know that is working. So yeah, so it's just a matter of a strategy. I would say, like, it's always the marketing strategy. How do you do it and how do you put it?
Actually, Mark, I'm just going to add something here for you because I did a huge mistake when I actually started doing advertising. So as an advertising, the point is to have a call to action, you know, book this or go to this point and etc.
Yeah.
And sometimes we underestimate how good maybe the campaign will be. So I put a campaign there, massive success, and I couldn't manage the volume because it was like the call to action was book a strategy session, 15 minutes, let's go. And then I was packed, and it was like, I didn't even think that I will be that successful. So I couldn't manage. And then I actually have, you know, I needed to cancel. I overbooked myself with clients, and I pretty much managed bad, you know. So bye. So just for you, like from someone that, you know, did it, and then after I didn't know how to handle, if you will to start doing some marketing, just have very clear what will be the steps. You know, this is my you know, campaign. This is my call to action. what is going to be download, contact me, because otherwise you might be in the situation that the campaign is great and then you are like, and what am I supposed to do with all this, you know? Which
Okay.
we never think
Yeah.
about it, you know. I don't know, it's silly, but
Yes, just plan these scenarios.
Yeah.
totally.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much.
No problem. Thank you very
Thank you,
much,
Mark.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
See
care.
you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.